What's going on, people? What's going on? Dropping a video. What's going on, Professor? I'm up here dropping this little video real quick, man. Just came over from the Roger Report. And basically, I talked about this on your channel earlier, Gold Pete, that talking about men having hobbies. When it comes to it, a lot of guys in this space make it making it this be their hobby to come on YouTube and kind of, throw stuff against the wall and see if it sticks. And ultimately, where are the hobbies that, people have or need to be having, far as like dealing with sports. Maybe you like football, check out Mace channel, Mace Tagger. He talks about sports, You got Brain Trust. Those guys over there. They have great hobbies in tech. You know, you got actually at one of my friends on his YouTube. He has a great channel. Well, not well, he has a great channel on his thing talking about cars, where he works at a detail shop, and then he also fixes up cars and put them in car shows. He has trucks. You know, pretty much old school models. So he get a kick out of fixing those old school cars and making them up new. So basically, like I said, channel pretty much is. I mean, this whole live stream was just started up talking about dealing with the aspect of hobbies. You have a lot of people that have too much time on their hands, and I think what is the name? It's an old saying. Idle mind is the devil's playground. You know, pretty much when you have a lot of time on your hands, you can do two things. You can figure out how to get into something bad, or you can figure out how to do something productive. And it's kind of funny how a lot of people lean towards you know getting into situations due to the fact if they don't have money, they probably want to go steal to get some money, or they want to do heinous things and everything, and ultimately end up in trouble, knowing that they shouldn't have been doing it. But the whole aspect of them just being idle, have nothing to do, and they figure, well, this might be something I'm interested or something I can do, and it kind of gets them in trouble. So basically, dealing with this aspect to the point, guys need hobbies. When I was a kid, I collect cars. Hello, Sheila. How you doing? Sheila, the quiet storm. And I collect model cars. And as I got older, um, getting on into high school, I was still collecting them, and I was actually building them and stuff too. I had the whole paint kit to where I can paint the cars. Um, took rims off of other cars. Made the rims look good. Took chrome pieces off of different things and put chrome all on there. Essentially making them look like a regular car. I took headphone speakers that back in the day they had before they had the big old speakers. Even if you take those apart, you see have those little speakers. I say about the size of a quarter that go over your ear. I took those and I took the wires out, made me a little box, put them in the trunk like speakers. I took little shiny squares. I think I got those off of like some old electronics, and I broke those off, glued them in the back of the seats as TVs. And the crazy part, just because I took the wires apart and everything with the speakers, I actually ran wires, the little small speakers that you put in your ears. I mean headphones you put in your ears. I took those, actually broke those down and put them in the doors. So when it was all said and done, I plugged it up, ran into the my CD player, and I played music from my little model car. And that's when I built, and I painted it myself, put the rims on, put the speakers in there, made it look like I had TV. And that was one of my hobbies. Besides, when I got out of sports, that's what I would always focus on. As me being an adult, I have other little small hobbies, things I can do, you know. And it comes to that, I was listening to Gold Professor on his channel, Hello Running Woman. And the crazy part about it, Gold Professor loves riding that bike. I've heard that man talk about different things, and the passion and pretty much the energy comes out when he talks about riding that bike. He almost turns into a little kid again. I had to make sure I check and see who I was listening to. You know, I kind of thought I was listening to some little young guy. Just like right, getting a bike for Christmas. That's how much energy he got when he talks about riding his bike. He has his music, he has a little playlist he listens to as he ride his bike, and you know, it's like a soundtrack to life. As soon as you get that music get to playing, you get to jumping up and down, be like, oh, well, there it is. That's my favorite song. So, just listening to him talking about that, it's just funny how you can tell what he really, really likes about riding that bike and getting on there and doing this thing on that bike. And I just started listening to him and listening to what how he talks about the bike and just get an understanding to the point where this man really likes riding that bike. And oh, I actually put this in wrong. Trying to drop the link in the chat so people can come up. But yeah, man, when it comes down to it, just picking a hobby. A lot of people they don't do that. You know, even with just the whole aspect of riding in the car. Experiencing going places. That can be a hobby within itself because you know you're gonna be experience on going places. Let me see, did that chat go through? Look at my boy Ism come in here. But pretty much, when it come down to it, man, just having a hobby. That's the biggest thing, man. Having a hobby, getting out here and being able to do things with your hobby. Like I said, that's the key. A lot of people just sitting at the house. We have these brothers come on the panels. They have their issues with the women and understand it. But at the same time of having the issues, focusing on something for them to do, that's the key thing. Getting the party started, you gotta have something to do. And having something to do is mainly on the whole point of, having a hobby. Because you're not always on the internet. And if you're not always on the internet, you gotta be able to do something else to kind of foot the bill. Okay, there you go, Professor.
Hey, what's happening, brother? What's happening, nephew?
What's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm glad you pulling together, brother. So I come support your channel just as well, brother. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, because I wanted, like I said, focus on this whole aspect of, guys getting hobbies. We hear guys come on these panels a lot, and Not saying that all of them are like this, but the majority of the guys, it's almost like they live to get on the panel and, essentially, in my opinion, that I look at is just talk about the women. In other aspects, there's nothing wrong with that. But when it comes down to it, what are we doing?
Yeah, yeah. I take a different view on that. I think people's when people come to these spaces, um, their hobby is in search of something. The hobby is in search of something, whatever that is, whatever that something is. Their ideas and their energies are motivated by the hunt of something, which that hunt is the hobby. This is why they, in my humble opinion, put a lot of time into being on these panels or being in these spaces, because they're wanting to build onto themselves. However positive or negative it is, their hobby is to do something, hunt something that will add on to what their direction is. So and then we're also in this technological age, and social media is a heavy proponent of this technology. So the hobby is doing things that are involving technology and social media, especially coming on to these in these spaces like YouTube and Twitter and other those other things, cater to their perception or their perspective of what they perceive to be a hobby. So, as they move forward, that is what they do. Um, and I'm older type gentleman. When I was younger, our thing was uh, going to the park, playing basketball, sports. The outside was quite a lot of energy was put on that of going outside and being outside. That was, hey, we couldn't go outside. That was punished. We, we was being, that was our punishment. Stay in the house. Oh, you fall out. You know what I'm saying? You know, or you'll get that ultimatum: either take this whooping, me gone, or you stay in the house. And that's it. Well, many of us took the whooping, and then we so go on outside. After you took that whooping, go on outside. you know, so uh, we're in different times now, and um, it is a different time, and people are growing up in a different era, a more uh, technical era. So their attention is directed, their energies are directed to that, and the understanding of what a hobby is caters to that. This is why you find a lot of people, uh, into these games. Like the PS5. They can't wait till the PS5 come out, or the new Xbox. That is their hobby, playing war games, which that is another way of catering to the technological age. When I was coming up, my first game console was the Commodore 64. I know that. I know I'm putting age on myself.
Whoa.
I know, I know I'm putting age on myself, but I had the Commodore 64 and I had Atari. Oh, you guys are good. Hey. Oh, snap. But I'm just saying, those, even when those things came out, it wasn't that we was like, oh, I got to stay in the house to play these games. You know, we still was in that environment where we wanted to go outside and ride bikes, go to the park, uh, go spending out of your friend over your friend's house, and your neighbors cook dinner, and it was more unity based. Now we're in this environment where we're more so um, we're more so individual based. We strive to move as a collective, but the only way we're moving as a collective is heavily through social media. So uh Unsunken One says he came with a Atari. Yeah, yeah. Back to the basics. You only 34. What you know about a Commodore 64 or Atari? What you know? Yeah.
Hey.
Back to the basics started with PS2. PS2 PS2 2.5, ready to go into PS3.
Hey. Hey man, that's crazy that you say that because I played with Atari when I
Yes,
was
sir.
young. That was my uncle's game.
Uh-huh.
He was actually grown when he got that game
Uh-huh.
and everything. And I haven't played with the other system that the comeback
Commodore 64. What
the
you can't even
comeback.
pronounce it.
I was trying to make a joke out of it.
Am
The
I am
comeback
I
to the
that
o-
true
the
story,
comeback
brother?
to the old days. The comeback to the old days system, not the Commodores.
Oh,
It's
snap.
called the comeback to the old days system.
The comeback system, huh?
Yeah. Mm.
Oh, hey, look. The best thing going at that time was Tecmo Bowl. Everybody had Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah.
You said Tecmo Bowl and the handheld football. The
Yeah.
handheld, you can have one that's playing head to head, or you can have one that's playing single. You just, switch players. So yeah. Yeah. Back to the basics. If you don't stop it, regular back to the basics, she knows she was playing with the PS3. That's when it came out. She got it when it's the PS3. You know,
Oh man.
two two 2.5 was obsolete to her.
Saying she was a real youngster.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Unsunken One says the paddle stick preceded the joystick. Yes, yes. I had the joystick. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
Hey.
Uh, brother, I don't appreciate you having me acknowledging my age up here, brother.
Hey, you was even slowly to progress when you said that see back in the day no just said hey man back in the day hey age is wisdom. I want to be as I want to get to be old. My friends always complain about being older. I tell them I'm
Yeah,
38, man. I'm good. Age is wisdom, man. What comes to age comes wisdom. And like my grandma, she always complained when I used to tell her that. She said you can be an old fool or a young fool, so it don't matter.
yeah.
And
I just say don't be an old fool.
yeah,
Don't be an
yeah,
old fool, because an old fool is bound to remain an old fool. And create younger fools because they're watching them be an old fool, you know. And I would hope that they will learn not to be an old fool, right?
Yeah,
So
you right about that.
there's lessons there, yeah. But yeah, um, I definitely am glad that you are doing your broadcast. I be trying to catch you, brother. I be trying to catch you. Um, Not that you do a lot of them. You know, you kind of just pop in when you're going. You know, you kind of gotta be looking for you to do your broadcast. So I'm glad to have caught you at this time to do it. Um, Rainy Woman says, nah, nah. Wisdom don't come with age. Wisdom comes with seeking and growing. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I, I
Yeah.
try to do a couple of pop-ups,
Yeah.
generally because my thing is haven't really found a time schedule, and I wasn't trying to, jump in of certain people's
Uh-huh.
uh, hours and everything, kind of respecting everybody in their time.
Right. Well,
So
well, I mean, it's kind of hard, you know, because you don't necessarily know when people gonna come up. Like BGS Hitmore, you know, he'll just decide to do a broadcast, right? So you don't necessarily know, when he's gonna do a broadcast. Um, Versus like Roger, he comes in, he's gonna do his broadcast like at a steady time like 9, or I would do my broadcast like at 5:30 a.m. So that is a different time, but people who uh, just decide to pop in, we you kind of got to be like, okay, he's on, okay, I got it. So like you, when you come on, I gotta be like, okay, okay, I'm there, I got you. So I'll be looking. Yes, sir. I'll be looking.
yeah, because I more or less wanted to have this little talk discussion. Because like I say, man, you be talking about your bike, man. You take it to a whole nother level.
Ah,
I, s- I said, who is this guy? When I heard you talking about that bike the other week, I said, man, Cole Professor sound like he a little young little 18-year-old kid straight going to college and having all that energy when you talking about riding that bike, man. That's a whole nother game for you.
hey, you seen I did that quick pre recording the
Yeah, I seen.
weekend, and I was on that. Hey, it wasn't nothing but dang. I rode to Vegas, stayed there about an hour and a half, then turned around and came back. So it takes about 5 hours to get there, right?
Yeah,
So uh essentially I just rode all day, hours. I was just out there, just riding.
yeah.
And
It's like a
I
12,
was
12 hour day right there.
I was out there, just riding, brother. you know, and yeah, I had a partner with me that I was schooling on how to ride. But hey, I'm gonna reserve that for State Talk Live, brother.
Okay.
I'm
See, I almost got it out you.
Hey, but
You almost walked into.
tomorrow's gonna be a different type of state talk we're gonna do. So, but I for the next one or further, and just bring me back to it, and I'll open up that conversation about that. So, but tomorrow's gonna be a different type of state talk, and um, I look forward to that and people coming on and uh, talking about it. Underrated darkness. What's happening, brother? Good afternoon, brother.
Good afternoon to you,
What's going
She,
on?
brother Sheed, and brother Go Professor.
Going on.
Excellent
Underrated.
top, excellent topic you had, brother Sheed. Excellent.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. We
Yeah. So
because we experience we like to talk about hobbies, Sheed brother, and you're right. People do. I just added a perspective to how the hobbies are looked at nowadays versus what we um, originally came up um, thinking a hobby's supposed to be or it should look like. You know,
Hmm.
younger people, their hobby is a technical base,
Hmm.
whereas ours were uh, go outside. You got a football team. You playing prairie ball. You know how many times I've been out on that in the yard or with
Uh,
many of the boys, and we out there playing football, or we uh, playing basketball, or we you know out there running races and stuff like that. That's what a lot of us came up in that are older. Now the younger now, their hobby is a lot of social media and technological type of uh, energies or platforms, and that's their hobby.
hmm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I think us as grown men too, we got to get back to for hobbies too. I
Oh yeah.
think that because I think that that is not being talked about enough. I will gonna talk about it next year too
Okay.
on my man on my man's thing. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's got we got to talk about how because we are out of touch of doing hobbies. Like you have hobbies. You know, you ride Nikki. You know what I mean? That's a hobby. But what's wrong with it? We don't talk about hobbies. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I do boxing. Boxing is just part of my hobby. I love boxing. I no my love is really basketball
Okay.
that I will talk about, in the near future. I love talking about basketball and other sports. That's hobbies. We gotta develop hobbies because see, when we develop hobbies within ourselves, we can bring those hobbies and we that's how we go. That's how we build up brotherhood. That's how like if we have nieces, I mean nephews and sons and stuff like that, they can learn from that.
Right.
But
Right.
we have to set the example, and that's when I put the Raj report is we hearing the same voices all the time. It's got to be more diverse voices like you, Rashid, and stuff. Hobby is the thing that us as brothers we got to get to. Even Rashid? Let's be honest. When we was doing sports, when we was watching sports and playing it, we enjoy ourselves. You hear what I'm saying? We cannot wait to chill, be with our friends, and we have discipline. We learn from life lessons from it. Even if you're reading and stuff, running and stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it
Right.
seems like we got away from it and stuff like that. But when you talk about it, it's like a certain silence. We got to get back into that, man. Ain't nothing wrong building brotherhood like that. It's nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? I like to talk to brothers. Like we talk, us three. We bro. She, there's like things he talking about. There's nothing wrong with that. Embrace it. Why are we so distant to talk about stuff like this? Why it's gotta be the same thing? Why it's gotta be this and that, this and that, this and that? I am tired.
that's the whole reason for me to drop in this topic because a lot of times if we have the same topics get regurgitated throughout. I mean, take for instance the whole Kevin Samuels video within the manosphere. I want to say 75% of the people did videos on it. I mean, it was a topic worth talking about and it was worth discussion. But to my understanding, I'm looking at it and probably what after the third or fourth video, then that would have been probably was enough said. Even with Kevin and a lot of people on social media, they all have they talks about Kevin because I've talked to people outside the manosphere and they've all seen the video. They talked about how Kevin talks, and they look at other people in the video in the manosphere in general. They're looking at them as well, saying that the talking and certain things that a lot of guys are saying that are crazy. But ultimately, like I said, the whole purpose of doing this video is trying to have an open mind to get people to start to understand we don't always have to talk within those realms. There's other things that we can talk about, finance. We can talk about, hobbies, for instance. We can talk about cars, sports, you know. And I like what Mace is doing over at his channel. He talks about sports just like you, underrated. Boxing, football, basketball. He does all the sports. He even does hockey. You know, and that's one of the key things that we have to start looking at in this space is to kind of open ourselves up to different things. A lot of guys don't know about stock. We hear guys talk about stock. I seen on Mace channel when a guy came up to talk about stock, one
Yep.
of the younger guys got mad and ran off the panel. Was like, "Well, I'll come back when you guys start talking about sports because I
Oh yeah,
don't
I was on.
come
I
over
was
here."
on. I was on the panel, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. That
and
man, that don't make no sense. That to me, that really don't make no sense. I want because I want to talk about that too in the near future. I really do. Like,
Um, underrated dropped. Uh, but what I would say is, yeah, when people come to these spaces, it is very important to um, have an understanding of what space you're in. Some space, if the space is about sports and um, all facets of sports, then I would say do your best to stay within that realm. Don't go on the channel whereas the channel is talking about sports, and then you bring up, um, you know, putting a stop sign on your city, your on your corner, and how to get a stop sign put on your corner because it's been a problem in your neighborhood. Okay, there are channels for that kind of conversation, and it is well appreciated when uh, the subject is focused upon. Will it take different turns at times? Yes. But the focus of the channel is if it's about sports, then we're talking about sports. Okay. If we're talking about hobbies, well, okay, we're talking about hobbies. Let's talk about hobbies and the facets, the different facets of the hobby. Now, your hobby may be uh, stocks, doing stocks. Okay, good hobby. Okay, you know, and your hobby may be talking about how to get the legal system correct. Okay, that's a hobby. If that's what you consider to be a hobby. But my thing is, our thing is to stay focused on what the channel is promoting. Don't
mhm,
go off topic, and that's what a lot of people miss when we go into these spaces. Either they don't know anything about the channel, or they have their own personal ideas or agenda and desire to implement it on another person's channel. If you're on
mhm,
that type of page, I would suggest you create your own channel
mhm,
and you put that information on your channel to where you can be the host and you can control the conversations. That's what I would humbly say
yeah.
to that.
And
Welcome back,
oh,
brother.
I'm sorry. Go more your point. That's how I be telling people. If you feel you can bring some type of create. Don't complain. But see, this is the thing. But this is the problem, y'all. And I just don't go by what the underrated ones say. Just don't just don't go by. Go visual, never lie. Go by what you look. Please. Don't you have to listen to me. But I'm telling you what I see for a while. That everything that you and Brother She have been talking about for a while. I'm telling you what I'm seeing, and I don't care. No brother get mad at me anyway. I really don't care. But I'm going to say this, and it goes for other channels too. They just want to deal with the same rhetoric every day. They do not. They talk about the brotherhood, but they're not all about the brotherhood. They just want to. They feel very comfortable at certain spaces. They want to go. And then I'm saying, if you go, if we going to say that we want us as men to be well-rounded men, well, I say well-rounded warriors, but I'm gonna say well-rounded men. We have to understand too. We have to embrace other things too, and that is the problem. We don't want the brass out, and to me, excuse me, and to me, it's very, very disappointing, and at times I get very triggered. I don't let the rest of y'all know because I keep it, but it really, really is. Because the things that you go professor and brother she is talking about is very essential in this brotherhood. We need those things. What I do, we need those things.
But essentially, when it comes down to it, a lot of guys is, we have this whole community that we try to get brothers on the same path and, follow the same plan. But honestly speaking, a lot of guys are not going to be able to go down that road. You know, when we talk about the community and we talk about building, a lot of guys are not coming to build. You know, they're coming for the party. They're coming for certain topics. They're coming for certain information. If they don't obtain that, they go somewhere else. You know, and by all means, I'm not mad at that because if it's good information and it's not being presented to all, when it comes down to it, as a collective, as we do. When we give out good value information, everybody takes it and absorb it. Whoever's there, they're gonna get the information. They're gonna get it and know. The same as BGS been talking about the coronavirus. You know, he's been telling people to prep, kind of get themselves aware of this and everything. A lot of people they got there late. They got everything late. Even with the food shortage, to the stores were shutting down as much with food, a lot of people didn't get the essentials that they needed, so they kind of struggled a little bit until everything opened back up. But the whole point of it is, what I'm saying is everybody's not gonna make it to that promised land. Even the crazy part of not going into biblical terms too much, but look at Moses. He didn't even make it to the land. And he was the one that was guiding the people and everything. When it comes down to it, a lot of people in this space, the reason why I'm touching on hobbies is because they have to know how to occupy their time, and dealing with people a certain way, just like we were just on Roger's channel earlier. And that's why I kind of look at things with the balance of what was about to happen with this guy. And I kind of wanted to step in before it happened, but the ball got dropped. In a sense, someone comes in with a different mindset. Someone comes in without the same views of everybody else, and they get cast with the women. But if a guy comes in with the same raw, then he gets welcomed with open arms. Stating no matter what this guy's opinion was or what his thought process was, like Roger said, he's a man first, and we'll welcome him with open arms. Now, I take it that if he's saying anything or doing anything wrong, we can kind of work that out as we go along. Because of the questioning that they were giving him, I already knew where it was leading to. And that shouldn't be the case. Just like he explained, that there are certain situations we need to go offline or in the back to discuss certain things, so be it. But I mean, it shows the division amongst ourselves that a lot of people talk about in this space, to where if we can't work together as you being a man, you being a black man, I'm being a black man, and kind of work it out spite our differences, how can we collectively move thousands of men? We can't even deal with five to, what, 8 guys on the panel, 10 guys on the panel. It starts in small numbers right here in this space. And the crazy thing is understanding what we're going through with a lot of guys in the space plays a big part in it, man. And understanding everybody has a different viewpoint, everybody have their different struggles, different issues. His whole stand was all about having the black experience first, you know, and having a woman to a certain degree. I understand it. I know certain things that he might say I don't agree with, or certain things I might say he might don't agree with. But first and foremost, he's a black man, and we just give him a little knowledge, let him understand. To push a narrative on him, just like one of the guys said, he's been in this space before. Guys been telling him certain things before, and he constantly come back to his frame of mind. So what we're trying to essentially do is mold his mind to be like ours. I don't look at it like that. If a man comes in with open arms and he's willing to learn, he's willing to be understood, and we push him knowledge, he don't want to accept it, then so be it. Like I said about the women, if it comes a time where a lot of women come on and they're negative, they're moving the conversation in a different direction, let's go ahead and pull those women down. Did I get? Oh, I thought I
Well,
had them.
what I would say is that um, for a long time, many of us, especially, and I'm speaking specifically to the black man, about the black man, we haven't had a voice. Our voices have been stifled. So we're essentially trying to come into a space and have our voice heard. And when we're all trying to have our voice heard, it has the potential to turn into chaos, just as we seen on the panel. And when it turns into that, um, we have to pull it back and say, okay, um, this isn't making a cohesive conversation. You know, we have to be able to see what is not working, and the chaos it doesn't work in these conversations. Um, this is why I push on my channel that we remain courteous to a high level. We remain disciplined to a high level. To whereas I'm not going to jump in on you while you're expressing your view because you desire to have your voice heard. Okay, you desire to have your voice heard, and it is for me to remain courteous to letting you have your voice, giving you the room to have your voice. And then once you're finished, you complete, then I will have my voice and address what you have said. Okay. And I will address it humbly. This is having a voice. And many haven't had a voice. So they struggle with giving their voice, speaking with their voice. And so they're so apt to hop in on what is being said instead of listening, being courteous, rendering that person the time to speak what they have to speak. This is the purpose of the space, because we what had we're we're learning to have a voice and use our voice that is beneficial to the growth of the black man and his family. Okay, this is the purpose of that. It is important we uphold that, because in the midst of us not upholding that, then we fall into more chaos. Everybody is yelling over each other and interjecting and stuff like that. Then next thing you know, everybody getting cussed out. You know, we find that people are, now highly upset and struggle to pull it back in. And I find that to be an issue. And we're still learning to have a voice, and we want our voice to be heard. Perhaps people who are struggling with lending their voice to the space, they've been struggling with it outside of the space. They're at home dealing with it, and their voices are continually stifled. And this is the only place that they can really come and express a view, their voice, use their voice. Because a lot of times we're using these spaces as therapy. I've said on my channel many times that my space, my channel is therapy. And with that therapy, I utilize courtesy as part of my therapy. I utilize discipline as part of my therapy. I utilize my voice and honing how I speak with you as therapy. I utilize listening to what you say and humbly responding to what you say as therapy. So this is what we deal with. A lot of times we deal with people who are struggling just to be heard. So in reference to the hobby, people are seeking to build on to something that they consider a good hobby. And they come into these spaces seeking. Their seeking is the hobby at that present time, in this present time.
Yep.
So I'll leave it at that. Go ahead.
To me, I was going to say, are they actually seeking a hobby or a way to vent? Because just like I was bringing up your topic of you riding your bike, you
Yes,
get
sir.
joy in riding your bike. The way you express yourself with being on your bike, thinking about your bike, that's a joyous thing. That's a hobby of joy. You hear guys talking about playing video games. They can't wait to go home to play their game. I've heard people say, "Man, oh, I'm ready for this panel," but it's more or less not a hobby to be on a panel or ready for a panel. More or less, it's just to kind of get the information or kind of state their opinion about it. And that's what I'm looking at more into this circle of, guys that are coming on YouTube and, just talking in general about different topics and things. They're here for the dialogue and the information, the context within the, topic. But far as when they leave, what is to be done of them besides wait for the next day or surf to the next channel? I mean, it might be a joy. I'm not saying it is, but it could be a joy for people just to go from panel to panel. They see it as a hobby. But more or less, what I'm looking at the aspect of, that joy that I hear, even with underrated, how he talk about his boxing and everything, and how he talk, dealing with the issues of men, but mainly he talks with passion from the topics that outside of sports just kind of putting men and just people in the context of what's going on, and these are the things that are not being touched on. Far as like when his boxing, the joy when he laughs about certain little boxers or certain things in the past that happened, when you kind of go down memory lane and say somebody got knocked out, even like that whole Nate Robinson thing. They got guys were clowning him to the point where you hear so much joy in their voices talking about it, because it's the hobby of just dealing with the sport of knowing the numbers and everything. Because, like I said, I don't even hardly watch that much football and basketball, so I can even tell you who was actually the quarterback dealing with certain things. But when it comes to the aspect of that, that's what I'm looking at, far as the hobbies within this space.
Well, I would say some they, when they're seeking the hobby is them seeking out um, information and you know honing their skills. So when they come to speak, it may turn into a vent where they start venting. But when you look at it, they've been in this space, that space, this space, right? So the hobby is in the hunt. Their hunting is the hobby at this current time. Now, whatever comes out of it, and whatever they learn from that hunting, from that seeking, uh, it may turn into a more substantial type of meaning of hobby. Right now, the seeking aspect of it is the hobby. In my humble opinion, they may have a different view about that. This is just my perception of it. So when they vent, um, that is them speaking on something that they have either came across or they learned in their personal life, experienced, or whatever happens. But when they go to this space or that space, this channel or that channel, well, they're picking up information. The hobby is the seeking. Now, when they establish themselves, create their own space, then it becomes more of a substantiated hobby or whatever direction they are going in. She, did you want to respond to that, or you must be held up? But okay,
I was
so
trying to let
okay, go ahead.
underrated get back on. I was trying to
Yeah,
see.
I think he might have his signal might be because sometimes his boost mobile isn't working.
There you
Okay, I
go.
heard that. I heard
See,
that.
there you
You didn't
go.
That
hear
be
that?
that
You
that
didn't
that
hear
behavior. That
that?
behavior again. Nikki, I'm getting Nikki.
Hey,
You didn't hear that underrated.
Hmm.
Go ahead, she.
No,
nah, I was gonna let underrated go.
no,
Oh,
I
okay.
was saying, no, I agree with what you're saying, Go Professor. Yeah, they got a vent and all that. It depends on the space, but this is what I'm saying is, you know, we have spaces
Yes,
of
sir.
it that we could build.
Yes, sir.
You do the health thing, you do the reading thing, she do the building, and
I told you, man, that Boost Mobile, uh, slash, uh,
Hey, man.
track
Hey, hey, hey,
Boost
hey.
Mobile track phone.
Time out. Time out. Hey,
That Boost
see,
Mobile track phone, man.
I can't wait. Underrated gonna give you the blues when he get back on here.
I know, I know, I know.
And
First, he's gonna get at me about, hey, you always talking about behavior, Gold Professor, but you talking about my Boost Mobile track phone? Is that the proper behavior, brother?
you mixing you mixing companies up and everything all together. See, he
I
gonna get
know,
on you
right?
about your behavior. He gonna get on you about your behavior. And
I
see, that's
know.
I just want to state the claim since I'm on here, and I can kind of mute you if you say something that Raining woman, she can get you because it's not me, it's you.
Wait a minute. I didn't invoke. How am I invoking Rain and Women's name in this? I didn't say
Nah,
nothing.
I'm just
You
saying
brought
that
it
you
up.
always starting stuff.
I didn't. I didn't even bring her up. What? Uh oh. That's why you brought her up. That's why. Cause you.
See how you be talking behind people back? And guess what?
Oh, I didn't. I didn't say nothing, sir.
Hi, she, we here. What's up? And
Hey,
and
what's going on?
and Rashid is right. You are always talking behind somebody back. God Professor, I was coming up to hold it down for brother underrated until he got here, but he's here now. But yeah, I heard you. I heard you talking about the boost bubble phone, trying to throw your little sneak slug while he was gone. I heard
Hey,
you.
hey, it is not my fault. Underrated has a hybrid phone. It
And
is
as
not
a
my fault.
Bad behavior. I told you.
get him, JT, get him, JT, get him.
Yeah, bad behavior.
Hey,
Hey, I didn't say nothing about you, raining woman. I don't know why you giving me grief. I did not invoke your name. That
Because
was
we were
you.
talking about my fellow Gemini brother. What you thought it
mm,
was? What did you think it was?
I don't know. You know what? I'm going to humble myself and I will mute up.
you gonna fool around, have to get your lawyer again.
Oh no, right?
Uh
I'm gonna have to call
oh.
my lawyer. I'm gonna call my attorney.
Oh.
Oh yeah. My attorney is definitely down with me. Just so y'all know. She is
Okay,
definitely down with me. You guys have seen the proof in that.
okay.
So don't have me call her up here. Sheila Eve Quiet Storm, have your paper ready. Have everything ready because apparently everybody up here is trying to give me grief.
Hey, you might win some, but you might gonna lose them. You gonna lose them. You gonna lose a couple.
I don't think this. Not with my attorney. I ain't.
Okay, okay,
No,
sir.
my
Okay, sir.
attorney got game. She
Okay,
got
sir.
that game. She got that game. Sir Ism be talking about. All right. Yeah, she got Ism.
Anyway, I like this topic about the hobbies, Rashid.
Yeah, because like I said, dealing with a lot of guys in this space. They have a lot of frustration that they kind of let off on the panels, and by all means, that's a way of therapy and getting it out. But if you don't have something like a hobby that gets you excited and just kind of keep you balanced, it was to the point where when I used to wrestle in high school, it became a big thing to me. Even like with guys playing football and sports, to the point where it was like you just live for it. I remember times when I was sick and I thought I was coming out with pneumonia and I would still go to practice but wouldn't go to school. And I got in trouble for that and everything. And I was like, but I gotta go to practice. But they was
Yeah.
like, you sick. But it's more or less that's what I'm kind of seeing in this space that a lot of guys I see, I'm not trying to shoot at some of the guys, but I'm like, dude, like, what are we gonna do? Like, if I understand talking about the subjects and the topics all the time, but when are we gonna hear the joy out of you having fun? Like, yeah, man, today I went to the hunt, I went to the gun range, and man, I was shooting guns all day, man. I love shooting guns. Man, like somebody that rides a motorcycle. Like I love riding that bike, that Nicky.
How did you guys know Nikki so well?
Hey man, hey,
Oh
told you.
man, there you
You a
go
whole you
again.
you a whole nother person when you talk about Nikki. I'm
Yeah, I'm
like, hey,
trying to tell you, man, I think we gotta start spelling the name out. NIKKI. Cause he go crazy over that boy. He go crazy. He like little kid. I'm scared. Like I know anybody. Nicky. Oh Nicky. Oh no. I'm not another Nicky. Not your bike, okay, but.
How is it that you guys know Nikki so well? Did you guys see her?
Yes, we did. You showed her. You remember? There you go. That behavior again. You hear that, brother Seed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, I can't help that I admire her like that.
I
What the
told
problem
you,
is?
man, he's a
What the
whole
problem
nother
is?
person.
She just loves taking care of me. Daggone it.
Hey, yeah, that's a bike, sir. That's not a woman.
It is a woman, brother. It is a woman. She is
Yeah.
good to me.
I heard you when you was talking about the bike. I seen the bike in a lot of your pictures and everything,
Yeah,
and I was
yeah,
like, well, I said, he looks like he's a bike rider. I see his vest. I see he got the logos and stuff on there. And that day when you talked about your bike and played that song, I said, uh-oh, it's a whole nother person right here. Hey, this is alter ego right here.
Hey, look. Um, she loves when I get on her.
Boy, hey, we gotta talk about that language when you talking about your bike.
You see, you trying to throw you under the bus, she
Uh-huh.
on your own panel.
Yeah. Oh
Mm-mm-mm.
man. Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
Hey, she
Yep.
um she is always welcoming. She, she don't never say no. She don't never say no.
I'm just glad your behavior done stepped up because like I said, you and these old back chat messages were getting kind of bad for a
Oh,
minute. Yeah,
wait a
Rashid
minute.
was in the back chat and he said, I'm like,
Hey man, I ain't say nothing in the back chat, brother. I ain't say I ain't said nothing in the back chat. All right. All I said was random woman started it all. That's it.
See what I mean? Now, I already, listen, I already had to, jump down somebody's throat this morning. And, and being as small as I am, I had to jump my whole body down their throat. Now, I thought I gave it all to them, but that was this morning. I am sure I rejuvenated. Go,
uh,
Professor.
Random woman, are you gonna do another broadcast? Toxic masculinity part two? I ain't gonna talk about nobody, but this is part two. Go, Professor. Oh man, see, yeah,
It could be that way. You never know. It could go that way.
yeah. It more version random woman
had to speak to the behavior.
speaks to the behavior of I don't want to say his name. I just don't want to say his name, but go, Professor. He,
Yeah, I said it. Go,
I
Professor.
said it. I said it.
That was a good one. That was a good one right there. I was crying. I I went on mute. I was rolling. I was holding my stomach. I was beating on my leg. I was like, boy, that was a good one right there. I didn't mean to say it, but yeah, I said it. Go, Professor.
Uh, you know I shared that random woman. You know I shared.
Oh, oh, did you? Well, thank you for sharing. Sharing is caring.
I definitely shared your disgruntled behavior.
Mhm.
I
But
just I
you
definitely
shared
shared your
it to
disgruntled
correct your behavior,
behavior.
though. You shared it, but you did not correct your behavior.
See, I'm gonna have enough of you guys talking about my behavior. Okay.
I love you, black man. I love you, black man. I love you, black man. But
See, 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 see,
Then look,
see.
it wa- it was so bad. You didn't even say that this morning towards the end. I said, "Uh oh."
Yes, I did.
I said,
Yes, I did.
I said, look at it. I was waiting. After I said my closing thoughts, everybody said what they said, and the only thing you jumped on was just like Roger. I'm right. I said,
Oh, you're
well,
right. I did. You're right. I
yeah,
didn't say it.
hey,
You're right. I
Oh,
see,
didn't.
yeah,
You're right. I didn't. I was
behavior. I
didn't
trying
you
told
to.
you,
just
I
know?
was trying to. I was trying to get to work, man. So
the
uh, uh
behavior.
You ain't got no job, old professor.
see, here you go. Here you go.
You
My
you
job.
ain't
My
got to
job.
lie, Craig.
You
My
ain't got
job.
to how to kick it.
My job is to tell you, both of you, to stop talking all that. That's my job.
Uh,
You know what I'm saying? My job is to get on y'all nerves. Okay, I'm an old man.
Oh,
I'm
you
a,
holding that down, baby. You are
I'm a
holding
grumpy old man. My
that
job is
down.
to be a grumpy old man. So you two, I'm gonna be grumpy towards you two.
oh man, sound like Kevin Hart dad. Look at that, a cat drinking milk out of a bowl.
Will you look at that? Will you look at that? Look at here. Look at here. Look. Will you look at this? Will you look at this? She eating rain woman. Will you look at this?
See, you already put your age out there when you start talking
I
about
know.
the commando comeback kit
I know, right? I know, right?
and the Atari. I said, oh man. I said, I remember the Atari, but the commando. I was like, I ain't think that was
I
before the
know.
Atari.
I know, man. I know. I know, man. Hey, I'm on my way to being the best grumpy old man in life.
Hey,
Oh, mercy, help us. Help us.
Yeah, yeah.
and
You
you at
guys,
the first stage. So oh man, it's
yeah.
gonna get worse.
I'm gonna be on the panel, and you guys are gonna be like, here's this grumpy old man on here. We're like, what'd you say? What'd you say? Will you look at this?
Yeah, and I'm at the beginning stages of when your auntie, when you hear your auntie or your grandmother go off on somebody and then hang up the phone or leave the situation and be like, see what they made me do? And start talking to themselves.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, so you gonna just be auntie,
Okay,
just auntie. Auntie, can I do? What did I tell you? What did I tell you? See, I'm through talking.
everybody go sit down and be quiet. Be
Yeah,
quiet. Sit down. If you do nothing else, just be quiet. Okay, if you don't do nothing else, everybody be quiet.
yeah, yeah. Put the TV on mute. Put the TV on mute. I don't want to hear nothing.
You know, okay, I need to get my thoughts together. Go
Yeah,
sit down somewhere before I have to get my little switch and pop you. I'm already upset.
yeah, yeah. You tell everybody, go sit down. I don't hear nothing. I don't hear nothing. Next time I hear something, uh, the dish is coming at the head. It's coming at the head.
Hmm.
Okay, you take a nap. Everybody take a nap. Don't take a nap. Let everybody take a nap. I tell you when to get up. I'll go
Yeah,
outside and say, I tell you when to come in. Why? Don't come back in here until I tell you to come back in.
Yeah,
daggone right.
that's like my goddaughter and them. They always call me mean she because I sit there and I say something to them, and I don't even have to whoop them or anything. I just look at them real stern and just raise my voice a little bit. And with everything that they doing, they'll stop, look at me, get quiet, and they waiting on my next words. Be like, please don't do nothing.
Hey, she, you
Yeah.
just send them a message on that Metro PCS phone you got, and they like, he's sending us messages on the Metro. We better correct ourselves.
Man, I got a Verizon. I'm with Verizon. I got the latest and greatest.
Yeah,
This phone is what 13 almost 100. I got the Note Ultra. I mean I didn't get the Note 20. I got both of them. I got the Note 20, then I got the Note 20 Ultra. But that don't mean anything when you're going into a rough area with mountains and country lane.
Uh-huh.
Service is not rendered.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you got high quality phones, but you paid $4.99 for your internet.
Hey,
There he
that'll get
go.
it.
There he
See?
go.
Yep, that be heavy. See, I'm at home now. I got 5G while I'm at home
You got
in the
5G?
house.
You got 5G?
In the house. At
You got
home 5G in the house. The
uh,
crazy part, I never had 5G in my house. I done had Sprint for all these years. Had different phones with 5G. I could never get it. I always have to get on Wi-Fi when I get in the house. Now I don't even turn on my Wi-Fi no more. Really.
so you got
Really?
so you got $5 G. You got $5 internet G.
That's even I got hotspot on my phone. I let my kids use my internet when they be, cause they phone they don't turn. I ain't turned their phone on yet, cause they only 9. They be wanting a phone. Like nah.
She
Hey
she
guys, I'm gonna
better.
go ahead and drop down so I can go
Okay.
ahead and take care of some more business before the day ends. But it's
Okay.
always a pleasure. Much love and respect to both of you. Peace. Thank you,
All right.
Steve.
Hey, she don't be talking about her in the back chat either.
See, there you go.
Oh snap! Hey man, I really appreciate your channel, brother. I thank you for bringing me up on the panel, and um, yeah, I definitely like how we build.
Yeah.
I appreciate I appreciate your time and energy, nephew. I definitely appreciate it. That's real talk.
Yep. And I'm gonna get ready to close out too. Basically, I just wanted to throw that out there. You know, dealing with guys, talking about hobbies and stuff, because ultimately, if this is gonna be your hobby, you got to be good at it. If you're gonna be on the panels discussing, you got to gain knowledge. Because just as you come up to a BGS or, even an angry man, how he deals with politics now, you got to be on your A game. You know,
Right,
even with Walt Diddy as he discusses, filming and stuff, and you
right,
deal with T. Hassan Johnson and the studies. You deal with Nicole and her studies you know, in science. You got to be on your A game when you're dealing with people. And
right,
that's all I want to go ahead and, kind of give people. If YouTubing is going to be your hobby, be well educated. Learn as much as you can, because there's certain things you might not know, but to a reference, to kind of roll with the big dogs, because ultimately that's what we're doing. We're giving opinions about things and issues, but we're stating the facts for reference.
right.
And as it turned with the hobbies, it's something you like, it's something you enjoy doing. you know and if watching sports is not your hobby, if riding bikes is not your hobby, even with me, I do multiple things, dealing with my kids, and it's not more or less just a hobby, but I find joy in that, dealing with my boys.
Uh-huh.
I find joy in teaching them things. I'm teaching them how to put a inner tube on a tire,
Right, right,
and the joy of showing them certain things. I'm looking more as a hobby of doing little things with them, showing them how to paint, showing them how to nail things. The little skills that I have can push them into having little hobbies later on in life, to the point where they kind of grow into certain things.
well, being with your family can, be your hobby. Your hobby.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That
true.
is a hobby in itself. You taking care of your family and you do things with your family as a hobby. You find joy in doing things with your family. Your family is your hobby. So, when people who come into these spaces, um, I would say when they come into these spaces, uh, be humble with your your entry and your presence and your outro. Be humble on all three, with all three parts of uh, being in the space, you know.
Yep.
And when you're humble with that, that means, um, you know, listen to what's being said so you can render the best response to what is being asked or what you're hearing, and maintain a high level of courtesy and discipline to the courtesy. And you will find that you will definitely grow. And if you don't learn something, at least you learned that this space um, has room for you to have a voice. That's what I would say.
Any last words? That's it.
Well, I want to say thank you, brother. I look forward to more of your lives, and I look forward to um, your space continually growing. I would love to see you with a magnitude of subscribers, just as I would love to have a magnitude of subscribers, and we, entertain a plethora of information and peace with each other, our voice. I welcome that, and you know, I'm in deep gratitude to your channel and our conversations and the people who've come to the channel. Uh, I really appreciate it. So, with that being said, I ain't gonna tolerate you talking about raining woman no more.
Well, I tell you the behavior. I tell you, man, I'm out of here, man. I'm gonna end this screen right now. But all right, man.
I'm Gold Professor. And look, listen, black man, I love you. I may hate your behaviors, but I love you. Look, listen, black woman, I love you. I may hate your behaviors. In the words of She We Here, I'm Gold.
And I just paused you.
We gonna have a mute battle. you know, you gonna do me like Rated Woman? I had to do Rated Woman. We gonna mute battle.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? A live stream after this about me?
No, I'm gonna talk about She We Here's toxic masculinity, the mute episode. Hey,
All right,
look,
man.
I'm out, man. I'm Go
All
Professor.
right.
I'm out.
Yep. And like I say, we gone.